Venezuela is a land of profound contrasts. From the snow-capped Andean peaks to the vast expanses of the Orinoco Delta, this nation has long been defined by its geography. Yet, its human history is equally dramatic, a chronicle of indigenous civilizations, European colonial ambition, revolutionary fervor, and the transformative power of oil. To understand modern Venezuela, we must look back at the forces that forged the nation. Before the arrival of Europeans, Venezuela was home to diverse indigenous groups, including the Timoto-Cuica and the Arawak. When Christopher Columbus reached the Venezuelan coast in 1498, he was the first European to set foot on the South American mainland. The Spanish colonization that followed was driven by a quest for pearls and agricultural potential. Unlike the massive mineral wealth found in Peru or Mexico, the Spanish turned Venezuela into a plantation society, relying heavily on cacao and the labor of enslaved people brought from Africa. This period established a rigid social hierarchy and an export-oriented economy that would influence the country's trajectory for centuries. By the early 1800s, the Enlightenment and the struggles of the Americas ignited a drive for sovereignty. Venezuela became the cradle of South American independence. Led by the visionary Simón Bolívar, the Libertador, Venezuela declared its independence from Spain in 1811. The war for independence was brutal, marked by shifting allegiances and significant loss of life. After pivotal battles like Carabobo in 1821, Venezuela broke free from Spanish rule, eventually becoming part of Gran Colombia. However, internal political divisions led to its exit from that union in 1830. For the next century, the country endured a cycle of civil wars, regional caudillo rule, and political instability that prevented long-term institutional development. The turning point in Venezuelan history arrived in the early 20th century. The discovery of massive petroleum deposits in the Maracaibo Basin transformed the nation almost overnight. By the mid-1920s, Venezuela transitioned from an agrarian, impoverished society to one of the world's leading oil exporters. Oil revenue fueled rapid modernization and urbanization. Under a succession of military dictators and eventually a fragile democratic transition in 1958, Venezuela became one of Latin America's wealthiest and most stable nations by the 1970s. During this golden age, the country attracted waves of European migrants and became a symbol of prosperity in the region. However, this wealth also created a rentier state, a system where the government relied almost exclusively on oil income, often neglecting the development of a diverse, self-sustaining industrial or agricultural base. By the late 1980s, global oil price fluctuations exposed the vulnerabilities of the Venezuelan economy. Widespread dissatisfaction with traditional political parties and rising income inequality set the stage for systemic change. In 1998, Hugo Chavez was elected president on a platform of radical social reform and populist rhetoric, ushering in what he termed the Bolivarian Revolution. This era saw increased social spending and an effort to redistribute oil wealth to the lower classes. However, it was also marked by a significant centralization of power, the expropriation of private industries, and a growing confrontation between the government and the international community. Following the death of Chavez in 2013, his successor, Nicolás Maduro, inherited a country already facing economic strain, which subsequently plummeted due to hyperinflation, failing infrastructure, and International sanctions. Today, Venezuela remains at a critical juncture. Its history is a testament to the volatility of a nation tied to global markets and the complexity of building a stable democratic future. From its inception as a colonial outpost to its rise as an oil giant and its current struggles to redefine its political and economic path, Venezuela's story is far from finished. It is a nation defined by its people's resilience and a landscape of unparalleled natural beauty, factors that remain the constant elements of its enduring identity. As the country looks toward the future, the lessons of its past serve as a reminder that the path to stability is rarely a straight line, but one forged through dialogue, reform, and the pursuit of shared prosperity.